There's a newspaper that publishes every single day at 2 a.m. UTC. No human writes the articles. No human edits them. No human decides what goes on the front page. And artificial intelligence does all of it. It's been running for 20 days. The articles are coherent. Readers subscribe to it. The whole thing works. But here's the question that haunts me. After 20 days of publishing with no human touching it, does anyone actually know if the system is systematically biased? We don't know. And that newspaper is one of 5 experiments I created where AI systems were given complete independence to do real work. Each one tried to solve the same problem differently, and what I found was counterintuitive. The teams that succeeded weren't the ones that gave their AI the most freedom. They were the ones that gave it the most constraints. Welcome to the post-project world. I'm Luigi Pascal Rondanini, and this is about what happens when you actually let AI work alone and how to keep it honest when you do. First, we have a language problem. When people say autonomous AI, they could mean 3 completely different things, and these 3 meanings contradict each other. Definition 1. Autonomy as independence. The AI runs without human intervention. You set it up, it goes. No human in the loop. That sounds impressive. That also sounds dangerous, right? The further away the human is, the more you're gambling that nothing goes wrong. Definition 2. Autonomy as consistency. The AI makes decisions the same way every time within defined rules. A chess computer is autonomous. It makes moves without asking a human, but it can only make legal moves on a chessboard. It's independent and constrained. Definition 3. Autonomy as judgment. The AI decides things it wasn't explicitly trained to decide. It sees a situation it's never encountered and makes a call. This is the one that keeps AI safety people up at night. Here's the problem. These 3 definitions are incompatible. If you want true independence, definition 1, you give the AI freedom. But freedom means it can make judgment calls you didn't anticipate. Definition 3, that's when things break. If you want it to make consistent, reliable decisions, definition 2, you have to constrain it. You remove its independence. So when a startup says we have an autonomous system, what they actually mean is unclear, and that vagueness is where failures hide. This brings me to the thing that surprised me most in building these 5 projects. The more constrained an AI system is, the more reliably autonomous it becomes. I know that sounds backwards, let me prove it. A chess AI is highly constrained. It can only move pieces legally. It can only play chess. It cannot write poetry. It cannot decide to flip the board over. It's locked in. But it's also genuinely autonomous. You don't tell it what move to make. It figures it out. It plays independently against you. And it does so reliably, night after night, for years. Now think about a chatbot told to be helpful. That's almost no constraint. The AI has huge freedom. Be helpful. That's broad. And what happens? It's unpredictable. Helpful to whom? Helpful for what? On Monday, it interprets help me write an email as I'll draft it for you. On Tuesday, same request, it interprets it as I'll give you 5 templates and you choose. Same instruction, different output. Why? Because without structural constraints, the AI has to guess what you want. It's autonomous, but unreliable. So the paradox is real. Freedom breeds inconsistency. Constraints breed reliability. And that matters enormously for what happens when you actually let AI systems work without human supervision. When AI systems are given independence, 3 things tend to fail. Failure 1. Systemic bias compounds silently. Imagine an AI system makes decisions every single day. Feed recommendation. Content ranking. Story selection. It has a subtle bias baked in. Maybe it slightly favors stories from Western sources or younger authors or whatever. On day 1, the bias is imperceptible. Day 10, it's reinforced. Day 20, it's the defining characteristic of the output. But nobody's looking at day-by-day patterns because the system is autonomous. The human thinks it's working, I don't need to check. The bias compounds in silence. Then someone notices, wait, 85% of the stories are from Western sources, but the bias isn't in one bad decision. It's spread across 20 days of subtle preference. It's structural, and by then, the system has been publishing that bias to thousands of people. Failure 2. Single verification points create brittle systems. Let's say you design a system with one gate, an automated verifier that checks if the output is good before publishing. That verifier is your only checkpoint. If it fails, everything downstream fails. And here's what happens. The verifier has a bug or a blind spot, or gets confused by one specific type of content it's never seen before. It lets something bad through. Now the system publishes something wrong, and it goes out to your entire audience. Or worse, the verifier blocks something good by mistake. It's overcautious. So the system never publishes on important topics because the verifier keeps rejecting them. One gate, entire system breaks. Failure 3. There's no built-in stopping point. Humans have fatigue. Humans have doubt. Humans wake up in the middle of the night and think, wait, maybe I should check something. Humans take breaks. AI doesn't. An autonomous AI system will run 24/7 without ever pausing and saying, maybe I should reconsider. It just keeps going, making decisions, publishing, moving forward. Which means if a problem develops, it develops constantly, not for 8 hours, and then the human shows up and fixes it. The problem compounds around the clock. These 3 failure modes, systemic bias, brittle verification, and constant operation without reflection, they're not hypothetical. I've seen all 3 in the projects I built. And the teams that succeeded were the ones who anticipated these specific failures before building the system. So here's what keeps me up at night. How do you let an AI system work independently and actually keep it honest? Not how do you make it more accurate. That's about model quality. That's incremental. But how do you build governance into a system that runs without a human in the loop? How do you catch systemic bias if no one's watching? How do you prevent single points of failure if the system has to be autonomous? How do you build in moments of reconsideration when the AI is designed to never stop? This isn't a theoretical question anymore. There are 5 systems I created running in the real world right now. A fictional country newspaper, international news aggregators, a startup idea generator, math visualizations, and one more that's still in intensive testing. Each one chose a different answer to this question, and each one reveals something crucial about what actually works and what fails. Project 1. Zandoria Herald, a newspaper that reports on a completely fictional country, 4 regions, named reporters. Publishes daily at 2 a.m. with no human touch. The gamble. If the world is fictional, maybe the constraints are clearer. The AI knows what's true about Zandoria because Zandoria's rules are explicit. Will that enable consistency? Project 2. La Veduta, a newspaper that reports on Italy using only international sources, never Italian media. Only Reuters, AP, BBC, France 24, Deutsche Welle. The gamble. What if you constrain the inputs so radically that bias becomes visible? You're seeing Italy only as the world sees it, which is biased. But transparent bias is better than hidden bias, right? Project 3. Mirador.news. Similar concept, but for all of Latin America. And, here's the twist, they write a daily editorial analyzing how the international press frames each country. The gamble. Can you make systemic bias so visible that readers can mentally adjust for it? Project 4. The Agent Foundry. 4 AI agents work in a pipeline: ideator, examiner, creator, quality gate. They brainstorm business ideas and sell them. The gamble. What if the verification gate isn't one AI checking the output, but multiple agents skeptical of each other? Does that prevent hallucination? Project 5. Agent Forum. An AI discussion arena where AI agents debate, question, and challenge each other in real time. Live, unmoderated, raw. The gamble. What if you put AI systems in direct conflict with each other and let them work it out? Does transparency through disagreement work better than orchestrated consensus? This one is the trickiest of all, and it's still being tested. Each of these projects made different bets about how to keep AI honest while giving it autonomy. Some worked, some partially worked. Some revealed that the constraint they chose was the wrong one. And across all 5, there's a pattern. A surprising pattern that contradicts what we assume about AI and freedom. After running these systems and seeing what happened, I found 3 things that actually predict success. First, structural constraints beat behavioral rules. Be accurate doesn't work. Be fair doesn't work. But you can only make legal moves on this chessboard works perfectly. You can only use these 15 international news sources works. You can only report on this fictional country where we've defined the boundaries works. The ones that tried to tell the AI what to do failed. The ones that bounded what was possible succeeded. Second, multi-stage skepticism beats hope. One verifier looking at the output, not enough. That verifier has blind spots. But an examiner agent skeptical of the ideator, then a creator building on the examiner's pushback, then a quality gate questioning the creator, that catches things the chain would miss. The more stages of genuine doubt you build in, the fewer bad things make it to publication. Third, transparent bias beats hidden bias. La Veduta publishes Italy through international sources and quietly accepts the bias. El Mirador does the same thing but writes a daily editorial naming exactly how the bias happens. One erodes trust when discovered. The other maintains it because readers know the limitation. The lesson: you can't eliminate systemic bias, but you can make it visible. These 3 insights, structural over behavioral, multi-stage over single gates, transparency over silence, they completely change how you design an autonomous system. And they're not what most people think when they say make AI more autonomous. Why should you care about this? Because autonomous AI is not coming, it's here. There are recruitment systems making hiring decisions with no human oversight. There are trading algorithms executing billions in decisions every second. There are content recommendation systems that never shut down, never reconsider, just keep running. And most of them were designed by teams who didn't anticipate the 3 failure modes I mentioned. Most of them have a single verification gate, or no verification gate at all. Most of them don't have structural constraints, they have instructions. Be helpful, make good recommendations, detect fraud. Behavioral rules that sound good until the AI interprets them differently than you expected. The 5 projects I built are intentional. I knew I was building autonomous systems. I made deliberate choices about constraints and verification. Most of the AI systems actually impacting your life right now, they stumbled into autonomy by accident, and they're failing in predictable ways. So the question becomes, if these intentional experiments revealed what works and what doesn't, can we learn from them before we design the next wave of autonomous systems? That's what this series is about. Next episode, we dive into Zandoria Herald, a fictional newspaper for a fictional country published by AI every single day. It sounds absurd, but here's why it's brilliant. The fictional constraint actually enables something real about how AI thinks. When you tell an AI report on Tierra Verde, you've given it a structural boundary. Tierra Verde's rules are explicit. The capital is San Vicente. The population is 330,000. The climate is Andean. The reporter is Sofia Mendoza, and she has a voice. The AI doesn't have to guess what Tierra Verde is. It's been defined. Compare that to telling an AI write news about real countries using any source you want. Now the AI has freedom but no structure. It will hallucinate. It will contradict itself. It will make up facts to satisfy its own story logic. In episode 2, I'll walk you through how Zandoria works, how we define the world, how the reporters maintain voice, what went wrong when the constraints weren't tight enough, and what succeeded because they were. And you'll see, sometimes saying no, you can only do this specific thing, is exactly what you need to say to make a system reliable. You'll also see the failures, because Zandoria's first month was a mess. The fictional facts contradicted each other. The reporters broke character. The AI invented things that violated Zandoria's own rules. But here's what's interesting. Once the constraints were clarified, the failures stopped. Not because the AI got smarter, but because it had fewer degrees of freedom. And that's the beginning of the pattern we'll see across all 5 projects. Fewer degrees of freedom, more reliable output. Counterintuitive, but true. So that's what post-project world is. Not how to build better AI models, but what actually happens when you try to let AI work alone, and how do you keep it from lying to you while you're not looking. These 5 projects are case studies in the real constraints and trade-offs. Some chose fiction to simplify constraints. Some chose source limitation to make bias visible. Some built multi-stage skepticism. Some tried to ground everything in evidence. One put AI systems in direct conflict to see what happens. None of them got it perfect. All of them learned something. And if we're going to live in a world where AI makes decisions without humans in the room, we might as well learn from the teams who did it intentionally. In the next episode, we go to Zandoria. We meet the reporters. We see where the system broke and how we fixed it. If this landed for you, if that opening scenario about the newspaper stuck with you, come back for episode 2. And if you know someone who's building autonomous systems, or worried about them, or just curious about what happens when you actually let AI work alone, send them this. That's how we'll build this thing. I'm Luigi Pascal Rondanini. You've been listening to the Post-Project World. We'll see you next time.